This is a new bike from Cyclown. It's called the DreamX, and the last Cyclown bike I reviewed, I felt like was pretty good for the price, but the quality was still definitely on the cheaper end. This looks like it came from an entirely different company. This bike looks really nice from everything I'm seeing. It's very sleek commuter style. The frame is nice and slender. It's just actually a good looking bike. I haven't ridden it yet. I haven't done any power tests on it yet. I'm gonna start with that right now. In 3, 2, 1. Felt like the speed limit kicked in right about 20 miles an hour, so it's operating as a legal Class 2 bicycle. Let's see, so in blue here we have our wattage, which looks like I got a peak of, there was a little spike here, about 950 watts. Looks like it held pretty steady, about 920 watts or so. And then peak torque was about 25 pound-feet. Not bad for a legal Class 2 bike. I think with the nice low rolling resistance tires, this will probably feel pretty good going up and down hills, but I'm gonna find that out in a minute. Let's write these numbers down. That's gonna put it on the sub 1000 watt side of the board. Looks like probably should fit in right here. Just below the Pucky Puppy Labrador and above the Jan Snow X50. Where is the other Cyclown? There it is. There's the Cyclown Hunter that I reviewed before. That one had a bit more torque and a little more peak power. Bear in mind that that was a 20-inch fat tire, so that's probably where all that torque is coming from. And that is a fatter motor. This is a slimmer motor for a slimmer dropout. So these numbers make sense to me based on the setup of the bike. Let me double check their site, give you all the specs on this while we go take it for a spin. So this bike is definitely designed for around town riding. So that's what I'm gonna do with it. What I'm hoping and expecting is that it's going to be a smooth ride. That it's energy efficient, fast rolling, and has decent hill climbing performance. Oh, and of course, I'd like it to be comfortable. Now I am noticing, comfort-wise, that the seat goes down quite low. The bike is actually smaller than I thought it was at first. I'd call it kind of a medium size. So if I look a little hunched over, it's more so just for my size. If I was a little bit shorter, it'd be a little more of an upright position. I'd say stem could be a hair shorter for comfort sometimes. So it's not the most upright bike, but it's a fairly traditional layout for a commuter bike. Suspension feels nice. It's got nice solid clicks for adjusting the lockout. I don't know what brakes these are. They've got the Cyclown label on them, so pretty generic OEM brake. I've definitely seen these or something like them on other bikes. They're kind of a copy of older Shimano hydraulic brakes, but they're working quite well. I think this looks like a 180 millimeter rotor. So that should be plenty of stopping power for a bike that goes 20 under throttle. They do say 28 on their website, so I'm guessing that's under pedal assist. Unless there's something I have to unlock to do that. I guess I should probably try that. Got an 8-speed. One more gear is nice to have, especially on something designed to be pedaled. All right, we're going pedal assist now. But it's a little bit of an uphill, so we're doing 20, 21. The question is, when it flattens out, will we go faster? Yeah, it looks like it. Still uphill, but we're doing 23. So the 28's definitely a pedal assist speed. I'm thinking it's gonna be a little difficult to actually get to 28 on this bike because it's a torque sensor. You gotta put effort in. And gearing wise, you kind of start running out of your pedaling cadence at like the mid 20s. So you're gonna be cranking really hard and fast. So it'll do it, but I might not quite have the strength to do it. But the torque sensing feels nice. If you hit the throttle, you definitely feel like the power kick in pretty good. It's not like a super soft start, but it doesn't lurch. So it's a very nice compromise between not having too slow of a start, which I find a little annoying when they're really soft, and not being jumpy, which more often you find on cadence sensor bikes, but sometimes throttles even can be jumpy. But definitely I feel the speed cutout on throttle. It's weird, it kind of cuts it like 21 and then it ramps you back down to 20. So if I want to go faster, I got to start pedaling. But you really got to work a lot. There we go, put some more effort in, more effort in. So if I'm treating this like a city-town commuter bike, when our bike shop was up by the airport in Grass Valley, which it was for many years, this is one of the roads I would ride on. And it's a pretty long, steep climb. I've done this commute on who knows how many different kinds of bikes. So I'm quite familiar with these hills. And we're zipping along, just maintaining that 20 miles an hour quite easily. The hill starts to get a little bit steeper here. Can I maintain 20? No, but I wasn't expecting it to. So without pedaling, that's gonna slow us down on the steeper chunk of that hill down to about 13 miles an hour. And as soon as the hill levels out a little bit more, now we're back up to 16, 17. And I'm not gonna head all the way up to the airport because I would rather turn around and see how does this thing perform down the hill. What's the stability like at speed? Particularly because it's a step-through frame. Are we gonna get any speed wobbles? Is the frame rigid and stiff enough? Let's find out. I'd say that's pretty good. So, very stable. You can easily ride this hands off. And I've got my camera sticking out on the handlebars, which usually reduces the stability and causes a speed wobble, and it didn't, so I would say stiffness-wise, the bike feels pretty good. A mild hum from the rear hub motor. It is a geared hub motor. That is the right choice for this kind of bike at this price. A mid-drive will cost you a lot more. A direct drive won't have the torque at this wattage to get you up the hills. So in my opinion, it's set up correctly. The battery's nothing crazy. It's a very sensible 48 volt, 15 amp hour. That's the same size we've been seeing on Aventins and other comparable brands. The difference is this bike is coming in right now at $13.99, so it's at a lower price. Now the screen is just black and white, so it's not fancy or color. That's probably the cheapest thing on the bike, and there's nothing wrong with it. This is a common display I've seen on lots of other bikes. But the rest of this bike feels really nice. The brakes feel good. Shifting is nice. The fork feels actually like nice quality. It's not up to like the through axles that we're seeing on some other bikes these days. But don't necessarily need that on something like this. A quick release is sufficient. And something I just noticed, took me a while because I wasn't noticing it. The fenders aren't rattling. There's no noise. So despite some bumps here and there, the bike is very quiet. And it is just a nice, smooth ride. These are 27.5-inch tires, so it rolls really good. So like right now, I'm not using power, I'm not pedaling. I'm just coasting and just carrying my speed up to this signal. That's the advantage of a nice, low rolling resistance tire size and style like these. These are Kendas. I guess I might as well do a more extreme hill test. And there it is. I'm gonna slow down. You have to, because there's a stop sign. And I wanna see if we can throttle up and over this next stop sign. It's a steep one. Ooh, I don't know, this is gonna be close. I guess we don't actually have to stop at this part, so that's good. Oh, we're crawling. It's gonna make it. It didn't like that, but it made it. If I would have carried some speed, that would have been nicer for the bike. Oh, interesting. So I have a little pop-up on the screen right now that's saying hot, hot, hot. So I have successfully overheated. I don't know if it's the motor controller or motor. I'm gonna guess motor controller. So does it just reduce my power or do I lose power? I still have power. So I think it's just warning me that it's hot. And there, it's gone already, so it cooled off enough. So I've ridden 2 e-bikes today that had things like that built in. The first one was the Ride One Up. Now I didn't tell you on the screen what was happening. You just feel the power cut down and then you can feel it come back as it cools down. I like that they actually programmed that into the screen on this one so you know that that's what's going on. And then you can slow down to prevent things from being damaged. It's a little weird thinking back to the last several years. Crazy Prius driver. Of the progression of e-bikes, because this reminds me of bikes that 3 to 5 years ago would have been $2,500, $3,000. Prices have gone down so much. This thing won't wheelie. Great that you can get a bike like this one for $13.99. This thing is really well made. I'm actually quite impressed. I mean, torque sensor for under $1,500. The motor feels warm, but not like super hot. So I'm guessing that is going to be motor controller, which is probably tucked in here, that is giving me a temperature warning for. I'm a little surprised that the rack is only rated for 15 kilograms. Usually they're more like 25, so 15, that's like 30 some pounds. That's a little on the light side. So although we might consider the Shimano Altus kind of entry level, it's nice that they bump us up to an 8-speed freewheel. And I got no complaints about it. It's a very clean, nice looking bike. A few years ago, something like this would have sold for a lot more money. And even today, to buy something equivalent from another brand, I think would still cost you more money. I think this is competing with bikes from other brands that are in the $1,500 up to the $2,000 range right now. So $13.99, I don't think you could really go wrong with this one. I'm quite impressed. I'm glad I got to see this one because it changed my perspective a lot about the Cyclown company, because the last bike I saw was a lot cheaper, but it felt cheaper. This bike feels like a quality bike at a nice budget price. So I'll put it this way, I would not be afraid to carry this bike and sell it based on what I see right here. So once again, this is the Cyclown DreamX. I'll put a link in the description where you can find out more about these. And for all of your other e-bike needs, of course, come check us out in Grass Valley at Area 13.